VPN ads.
VPN service is a scam.
You were told a VPN would keep you safe online.
Sponsor of this video is NordVPN.
Your word from today's sponsor, ExpressVPN.
You know exactly how this starts. You settle in to watch a video. Maybe it's a deep dive into the history of Rome, or a tutorial on how to build a gaming PC. The host pauses. They look directly into the camera. Their tone shifts from entertainment to grave, paternal concern. But first, they say, we need to talk about your online safety. Suddenly, the narrative shifts. They tell you a story about a hacker sitting in your local coffee shop right now, huddled over a laptop, waiting to steal your bank passwords. They tell you that your internet service provider is harvesting your browsing history and selling it to the highest bidder. They tell you that the government is watching every click, every search, every message. But don't worry, there is a solution, and conveniently, it's sponsoring their video. For just $2.99 a month, less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can wrap your entire digital life in an impenetrable shield of military-grade encryption. You can become invisible. You can be safe. It sounds like a no-brainer. Cheap peace of mind in a terrifying digital world. And because your favorite creator recommended it, someone you trust, someone who feels authentic, you click the link in the description. You sign up for the 3-year plan to lock in that 80% discount. If that pitch sounded familiar, it's because you have heard it 1,000 times. It is the single most common script on YouTube. But there is a problem. You didn't just buy security, you bought a placebo. You didn't achieve privacy, you just changed who owns your data. The modern VPN industry is a multi-billion-dollar juggernaut built almost entirely on technological illiteracy and the monetization of fear. It is an industry that has weaponized the very real problems of the surveillance economy to sell you a solution that, for 99% of users, does absolutely nothing to solve them. Today, we aren't just debunking the tech, we are following the money. We are going to look at the perverse financial incentives that turned privacy tools into affiliate marketing pyramid schemes. We are going to expose the corporate monopolies hiding behind hundreds of fake, independent review sites. And we are going to find out why the companies promising to protect you from data brokers are often the ultimate data brokers themselves. Welcome to the business of digital snake oil. To understand the magnitude of the grift, you have to understand the foundational lie at the center of the pitch. Almost every VPN ad begins with the same terrifying scenario. Public Wi-Fi is dangerous. The claim goes like this. When you connect to the open Wi-Fi at Starbucks, or an airport, or a hotel, your data is flying through the air unencrypted. Any unsophisticated script kiddie with a laptop and a free piece of software called Wireshark can sniff the packets. They can steal your credit card number as you type it into Amazon. They can read your emails to your doctor. They can clone your session cookies and log into your Facebook. Here is the problem. That story? It was true. In 2010. Back then, the web ran on HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. If you sent data over HTTP, it was like sending a postcard through the mail. Anyone handling it, the coffee shop router, the ISP, the hacker sitting 2 tables over, could read the message written on the back. It was a genuine security vulnerability. But then, the internet grew up. In the last decade, a massive industry-wide shift occurred, largely driven by Google, Apple, and nonprofits like Let's Encrypt. They forced the adoption of HTTPS. Look at the address bar in your browser right now. See that little padlock icon? See those letters HTTPS? That S stands for secure. Today, over 95% of all web traffic, Google, Facebook, Amazon, banking, Netflix, government sites, is encrypted by default using TLS, Transport Layer Security Protocols. This means that when you connect to Starbucks Wi-Fi without a VPN and go to your bank's website, your computer and your bank negotiate an encrypted handshake before any sensitive data is sent. They exchange cryptographic keys that only they possess. If a hacker in the coffee shop is sniffing your packets, they don't see your password. They don't see your credit card number. They don't even see the specific page you're reading. They see scrambled alphanumeric garbage. It would take a supercomputer millions of years to crack that encryption. So, let's look at the man in the middle attack the influencers warn you about. If you are on HTTPS and a hacker tries to intercept your connection, your browser will immediately flag it. You will see a giant red warning screen saying, "Your connection is not private." The attack fails by default because the browser, not the network, creates the security. So, what does the VPN actually do in this scenario? It takes your already encrypted data, wraps it in a second layer of encryption, sends it to the VPN server, unwraps the second layer, and then sends the original encrypted data to your bank. It is the digital equivalent of putting a locked safe inside another locked safe. Does it add security? Technically, yes. Is it necessary for the average person worried about credit card theft? Absolutely not. The marketing pitch relies on you not knowing what that little padlock icon means. They are selling you umbrella insurance in a desert. banking on the fact that you're too scared of the rain to check the weather report. They are selling you a solution to a problem that engineers solved 10 years ago. While we are on the topic of marketing nonsense, we need to address the favorite phrase of every VPN sponsorship: military-grade encryption. It sounds impressive. It sounds like something the NSA uses. It sounds like something you definitely need to stop the hackers. In reality, military-grade encryption is a meaningless marketing term. It usually refers to AES 256, Advanced Encryption Standard with a 256-bit key. Do you know who else uses AES 256? Your bank, Google, Amazon, your iPhone, the Wi-Fi router in your house. Basically, every secure system on the planet. AES 256 is the industry standard. It is the baseline. Bragging that your VPN uses military-grade encryption is like a car dealership bragging that their new car comes with round tires and transparent glass. Yes, we assume that. That is the minimum requirement for the product to function. But the phrase serves a specific purpose. It creates an asymmetry of competence. It makes the user feel small and vulnerable, and the product feel powerful and authoritative. It is linguistic armor designed to stop you from asking if you actually need it. Okay, so the security argument, the idea that you need a VPN to stop hackers, is mostly bogus. But what about the privacy argument? What about the second big claim, stopping your internet service provider, ISP, Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, from spying on you? This argument is stronger. In the United States, thanks to the repeal of certain FCC privacy rules in 2017, ISPs are legally allowed to track which domains you visit and monetize that metadata. Even when you use HTTPS, your ISP can't see content. They can't read the email you sent, but they can see metadata. They can see that you visited webmd.com at 10 p.m. They can see you visited tinder.com at 10:05 p.m. That metadata is valuable. It builds a profile of who you are. A VPN stops this. When you turn on a VPN, your ISP can only see one thing: an encrypted stream of data going to a single IP address owned by the VPN company. You have successfully blinded Comcast. Victory, right? You've achieved privacy. Wrong. You haven't achieved privacy. You have simply engaged in trust shifting. You have taken the capability to monitor your internet traffic away from Comcast, a heavily regulated, publicly traded U.S. utility company subject to federal laws and FTC oversight. And you have handed that exact same capability to SuperGhost VPN LLC, a private, opaque company often registered in a tax haven with weak banking regulations. This is the core paradox of the commercial VPN industry. To use their product, you must grant them total, godlike visibility over your entire digital life. They become the man in the middle. Every request, every website, every timestamp, every IP address. It all flows through their servers. They have the exact same visibility that you were trying to deny your ISP. In fact, they often have more visibility because while an ISP is just dumb piping, a VPN client is software installed directly on your device with root-level permissions. So the question isn't, do I want privacy? The question is, who do I trust more not to screw me? The marketing materials will scream the answer. We have a strict no logs policy. They claim that even though they could track you, their servers are magically configured to delete everything instantly to RAM. They cannot turn over data to the authorities because the data doesn't exist. This is the trust me bro guarantee. And history has shown us repeatedly that no logs is often marketing fiction. In 2017, PureVPN helped the FBI track a cyberstalker. How? By handing over logs they claimed they didn't keep. In 2011, Hide My Ass gave up logs of a lulzsec hacker, despite advertising anonymity. In 2020, UFO VPN exposed a database of millions of user logs on the open internet, including plain text passwords and IP addresses, despite claiming to be a zero-log service. When you dig into the fine print of privacy policies, no logs often means we don't log your activity right now, but we reserve the right to turn on logging if we suspect abuse. And we absolutely log your account information, payment details, and connection timestamps. You are trading a known regulated adversary, your ISP, for an unknown, unregulated entity that is financially motivated to lie to you. You are moving your data out of the light and into the shadows and paying a monthly subscription for the privilege. If you look at the About Us pages of the major VPN providers, you will notice a pattern. They are rarely headquartered in San Francisco, London, or Berlin. They are based in Panama, the British Virgin Islands, the Seychelles, or Gibraltar. The marketing spin is that these locations are privacy havens, outside the jurisdiction of the Five Eyes intelligence alliances. They claim this protects you from the NSA, They paint a picture of a rebellious company fighting against the surveillance state. The reality is a bit more cynical. This is regulatory arbitrage. By incorporating in these jurisdictions, these companies place themselves beyond the reach of standard consumer protection laws, data audits, and easy legal recourse. If Comcast gets caught selling your data illegally, they face FTC fines, congressional hearings, and massive class action lawsuits. If a VPN based in the British Virgin Islands gets caught selling your data, what are you going to do? Fly to Tortola and hire a maritime lawyer? These jurisdictions are chosen not just to protect your data from the government, but to protect the company's profits from accountability. It allows them to operate in a legal gray zone where claims like military-grade encryption are never tested in court. Furthermore, the ownership structure of these companies is often deliberately labyrinthine. Take a look at the market. You see dozens of competing brands: ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, Private Internet Access, ZenMate. It looks like a healthy, competitive market with lots of choice. It is an illusion. In the last few years, a massive consolidation has occurred. A single company, Cape Technologies, bought up ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, Private Internet Access, and ZenMate in a multi-billion-dollar roll-up strategy. Who is Cape Technologies? Well, before they rebranded, they were called Crossrider, and Crossrider's business model was distributing adware and injecting advertising into users' browsers. They were an ad tech company. They specialized in monetizing user traffic. Then they rebranded, pivoted to privacy, and bought up half the market. Does it make you feel secure knowing your privacy tool is owned by a former adware distributor operating out of a complex web of offshore holdings? It shouldn't. But Cape isn't the only one. Another massive conglomerate, Ziff Davis, which owns IGN, Mashable, and PCMAG, owns IPVANISH and Strong VPN. This creates a conflict of interest that is almost comical. PCMag reviews VPNs. PCMag is owned by the same company that owns the VPNs. When you search for Best VPN 2024, you are often reading a review written by the landlord of the product being reviewed. This brings us back to the beginning. The YouTubers. Why is your favorite creator lying to you? Why do creators who meticulously research their topics, who pride themselves on authenticity, suddenly turn into used car salesmen peddling fear the moment the ad read starts? Because VPNs are the heroine of affiliate marketing. The economics of VPN sponsorship are absurdly lucrative compared to almost any other product. To understand why, we have to look at marginal cost. If you sell a physical product, like a mattress or a meal kit, there is a cost to produce every single unit. You can only pay the YouTuber so much before you lose money. A VPN is software. The cost to add one more user to the server is effectively zero. It is pure margin. This allows VPN companies to offer CPA, cost per acquisition, payouts that defy logic. If a creator gets you to sign up for a $100 2-year plan, the VPN company might pay that creator $60, $80, or sometimes even 100% of the first year's revenue. Wait, 100%? How does the company make money? They make money on the LTV, lifetime value. They know that the hardest part is getting the credit card on file. Once you are subscribed, you are likely to forget about it. They are banking on breakage, the unused subscription that keeps billing you year after year via auto-renewal. They are willing to take a massive loss in year one just to acquire the asset, you. This creates a perverse incentive for the creator. A mid-sized YouTuber can make more money from a single 60-second VPN ad read than they make from YouTube AdSense in an entire month. The script they read is provided by the VPN company. The talking points, military-grade encryption, stop hackers, protect your privacy, are mandatory contract clauses. If the YouTuber deviates and says, actually, you don't really need this for Starbucks, they don't get paid. The creators aren't security experts vetting the claims. They are paid actors reading a script designed by marketers to maximize conversion through fear. It has created an influencer industrial complex, where the loudest voices on digital privacy are financially incentivized to mislead you about how the internet works. They have normalized the idea that the internet is fundamentally broken and dangerous unless you pay a monthly toll to a company in Panama. Before we move on, a warning. If you are using a free VPN from the App Store, delete it right now. There is no such thing as free bandwidth. Running global server farms costs millions of dollars a month in electricity and infrastructure. If you aren't paying the subscription, who is? A landmark study by CSIRO, Australia's national science agency, analyzed nearly 300 VPN apps on the Google Play Store. The results were terrifying. 84% leaked user traffic, meaning they failed to do the one thing they promised. 38% contained malware or adware, 18% didn't even encrypt traffic at all. So how do free VPNs make money? They are the ultimate man-in-the-middle attack, formalized as a business. 1. Data harvesting. They monitor every site you visit and sell that data to third-party brokers. You are using a tool to avoid tracking, which is tracking you more aggressively than your ISP ever did. 2. Ad injection. They inject code into the websites you visit to show you ads that shouldn't be there, stealing revenue from the sites you visit. 3. The botnet. The Hola VPN scandal. In 2015, it was revealed that the popular free VPN Hola was actually selling its users bandwidth. When you were idle, your computer was being used as an exit node for other people's traffic. Criminals were buying access to the Hola network to launch DDoS attacks and distribute child pornography. And the traffic was coming from your IP address. When you install a sketchy free VPN, you are voluntarily installing spyware that you believe is protecting you. It is the perfect digital Trojan horse. So, is the entire industry a scam? Are VPNs useless? No. And this is the nuance that makes the scam so effective. The technology does work, it just doesn't do what the ads say it does. A VPN is a tool, like a hammer. You don't use a hammer to brush your teeth, and you don't use a VPN for bank-level security at Starbucks. There are legitimate uses for VPNs, but they are rarely the ones led with in the ads because they aren't scary enough to drive impulse buys. Use case 1. Geo-spoofing, the entertainment utility. You want to watch the Japanese Netflix library or watch the BBC while outside the UK. A VPN is excellent for this. You are paying to bypass copyright geofencing. That is a real utility. But notice how the ads frame this. They don't say break copyright law. They say unlock the internet, because legally they have to dance around the fact that their primary use case is violating the terms of service of Netflix. Use case 2. Censorship circumvention, the human rights utility. If you live in Russia, China, Iran, or Turkey, countries with authoritarian regimes that block access to news or social media, a VPN is a vital lifeline. It is the only way to access the free internet. This is the noble use case. But let's be honest, NordVPN isn't spending $50 million on YouTube ads to target dissidents in Tehran. They are targeting Kevin in Ohio, who is afraid of hackers. Use case 3. Corporate security. This is what VPNs were invented for, allowing an employee working from home to securely access the files on the office server. But that is an enterprise VPN, not a commercial consumer VPN. Use case 4. Torrenting. If you are pirating copyrighted material and want to hide your IP address from copyright trolls, sending DMCA notices to your ISP. It works for that. They didn't fix the internet. They just found a way to set up a toll booth on the information superhighway. They manned it with guards who promise they aren't looking in your trunk while standing outside the jurisdiction of anyone who could check, and funded it by paying off the most trusted voices in media to scare you into stopping. It is a masterclass in modern business. They created a problem, the fear of public Wi-Fi, that didn't exist anymore, sold you a solution, the VPN, that you didn't need, and locked you into a recurring subscription that you will likely forget to cancel. So the next time your favorite creator pauses their video, looks into the camera, and tells you that the hackers are waiting for you, remember what you are actually watching. You aren't watching security advice. You are watching a highly profitable performance of security theater, paid for by companies that need you to remain terrified, ignorant, and subscribed. If you really want to be secure online, use a password manager, turn on two-factor authentication, and keep your software updated. Those things actually work, but nobody is going to pay a YouTuber $50,000 to tell you that.